Okay, Qigong, so what's Qi? Right? What is it? Typically it's translated as life force or animating force or energy that pervades everything that's ever been alive. The importance of Qi is that if you have it, you're alive. It flows, it permeates your organs, it permeates your muscles and tendons. It's actually around us all the time. We're in a sea of it right now. We're in a sea of charged particles right now. And so Qi, with that it would be called that animating force. The literal translation of Qi, there was an old way of describing it. The ancient Chinese, there were two characters that they used to use. The first character was for no, like does not exist, like wu, or no or empty, and the other one was fire. They say no fire. Now what does that mean? What does no fire mean? It's an interesting way of looking at it. I'm going to call this ancient definition a yin definition. No fire means that there's no friction or there's no tension. So you know when two things rub together, you create heat. And they're going to say that's fire. So they say, or if things become stagnant in a body, let's say there's not enough circulation, they can fester, become infected, and swell, and then we get fire again. So either if something moves too fast or doesn't move fast enough, we get fire. And so they say no fire, and they say, how do we get to no fire? That means the person's in balance. When your mind is agitated, if you're nervous, you sweat, right? If you're angry, you feel hot. If we're at all disturbed, the fire begins in the body. And so the ancient definition was saying, like, if you want to have life force, you have no fire. Now that was the old way of saying it and the old way of writing it. The more modern way of writing it, you see the first character, the first radical below, is rice in the steam that comes off of it. And so food. And the second radical is air. And so how do we obtain energy? We eat and we breathe. And this is how we get Qi. And these are where the characters come from. So the yin definition says, okay, if I'm calm, I'm relaxed, and I'm in balance and in harmony, I have good energy, I have Qi, I have no fire. The more modern definition says if I eat well, and I remember to breathe evenly and slowly, I have energy. Both of these are true, but I'd love it if we could combine the two. The first definition talks about quality of energy. Right? How good is the life force that flows through your body? Every impulse, every thought that you have, everything that you eat, the quality of the air that you breathe, what we believe, what's conscious, what's subconscious, all of these things have an effect on the life force that's in the body. This is important. That's the quality. And the other part says quantity. How much energy do we have? That also has to do with how good is the air and how good is the food. And do we have it in proper proportion? We eat too much, we become stagnant. We eat too little, we become weak. We breathe too fast, we become agitated. Breathe not enough, we pass out. And so these are very simple definitions, but this is how we get there, and this is how the Chinese begin to take a look at it. And so these would be the ancient definitions of what is Qi. Now if we look at the word Gong, usually translated either K-U-N-G or G-O-N-G, Gong means movement, action, work, or cultivation, depending on the context of the word. A gong, intrinsic to that word, is something that will take a long period of time and something that you will devote wholehearted attention. That's important. The wholehearted attention is important. We do a lot of things for a long time. I've been taking showers my whole life. Thank God, right? But what doesn't happen in those, I'm not fully present when I'm taking a shower. You know, I'm usually thinking of everything I have to do or something else. I'm not fully present if I'm shaving. I'm not fully present if I'm brushing my teeth or maybe taking a walk. It'd be great if I were. But these things are not gongs. I'm not giving full attention to what I'm doing. If I were, when you bring attention, the energy starts to gather. So the word Gong Fu or Kung Fu that everybody talks about does not mean martial art. It means good character or virtue cultivated over a lifetime. Typically, if you had devoted yourself to the path of Gong Fu, you would pick 5 disciplines, 5 art forms. It could be poetry, it could be philosophy, flower arranging, cooking, medicine, martial arts, which are called wushu. Wu means to stop, and shu means the spear or the weapon. It means to put an end to violence, which is different than chuan fa, which means to hit somebody, to deliver the fist. There's a difference. Wushu is different than chuan fa. Kung Fu is not fighting. Gong Fu, if you practice it, is that you would pick these 5 beautiful disciplines, you would devote yourself wholeheartedly, and somewhere within there, you would discover you. How does your character, how does your spirit emerge? How does my Paulness come out in this way? And maybe I didn't even know what that was until I had seen it applied through different disciplines. And so this is what a Gong is. It is to devote one's whole self. And so we have a discipline or a tradition of Qigong